creating an irresistible offer. What's interesting about this is a lot of times people that are in our industry, regardless of what you're selling, you're selling an offer, right? The difference between selling a product or service and selling an offer is you're giving people more value than what they expect, right? For example, if I'm doing a speaking engagement, I can say for me to come speak is this amount, and this is what I charge. Or I can go and say, I can give them an offer and I can say, okay, well, I could come and speak for this, but I also know that they're probably gonna need some books. So listen, I want to offer my planners and a planner, and I'll also include the planners as part of the offer as well. And then afterwards, I know this is just one time I'm doing a speaking, but I think that it'd be very beneficial if we at least did a Zoom call once a month. And with that, I think that'll be able to help them as well. So I'll speak now, and maybe I'll come back later again in the year. But let's go ahead and see if we can do a Zoom call once a month, and then that'll just be this extra amount. You know what I'm saying? So like when you do an offer, typically you're adding bonuses or you're adding something additional to it. That's really what the difference is. And then it's also how you present what that is as well, right? As part of the offer. So your goal is, what are you offering? And then how do you make that whatever you're offering, just they can't say no to it. All right. So let's go ahead and get into some of the steps. All right. So number one, when it comes to creating an irresistible offer, one, identify your audience's top 3 detriments and desires. Identify, and actually maybe this might be let me see. This might be helpful too. All right, let's go ahead and do that. All right. Let's see. All right, here we go. Oh man, why is this drawing? Okay, well, identify your audience's top 3 detriments and desires. So what do I mean by that specifically? Well, what that really looks like is, and I was trying to get this on. I was trying to get this as a. Oh, there you go. All right. Detriments and desires. So what that really looks like is, okay, what are my audience? What are they struggling with? Right? What is currently right now deteriorating the thing that I'm training on, my teaching them on, right? So for example, we looking at creating an offer. So Tiara, for example, she works with caretakers, right? And so she's thinking through this. She can say, okay, well, what are my audience's top 3 detriments? What are the things that they're really feeling challenged with right now, and that's really lowering the quality of their life? It could be, arguing with the person that they're taking care of, being angry with them, being upset with them. It can be, them not feeling like they have personal time, right? So they feeling overwhelmed, they feeling stressed out, right? So you say what those detriments are of your audience. So you got to know that, because we're talking about creating an offer, right? Keep that in mind. So, okay, well, what are the top 3 challenges that they really faced? And then also, what are the top 3 desires? What do they really want? So it could be more time. It could be, it can be a better quality of life. It could be a better relationship. It could be better support for the person, that they're taking care of, for example, right? And it's important to know what the top detriments and desires are, because you want to choose when you come to creating this offer. So let's say you offer coaching as your core thing, but you want to offer something else that's around that core thing. So it could be a webinar, it could be a book, it could be a mini course, it can be a download, it could be a checklist, a sheet. It could be so many different things. It could be a free event, but I want it to be around either one of these detriments or one of these desires. Okay. So with that, there's 2 ways that you could think about doing this, right? And that's automate or delegate. Automate or delegate. So whatever these are, how can I help automate this process to make it easier? And how can I delegate this to make it easier? Meaning, if I work with coaches and speakers, let's say if I'm working with speakers, I can say, listen, you don't got to go search for speaking engagements. Part of what this offer is I have an agency that's going to go out and they're going to find speaking engagements for you. All right, so we got these detriments, right? So now, this is the question. What kind of tool, lack of capital, love it. Now, let me ask you this question. What kind of tool or resource that you could provide to help them overcome that situation? Right? What could you either help them automate or delegate? It can be something that they learn, right? But what could you do? Write it down. Take 30 seconds to write it down. What could you provide them? Is it a checklist? Is it a worksheet? Is it if they going through that, if they going through a financial situation, could they call you? Change your mind on this. This first one is saying is know what your audience biggest pain point is, what they want, and give it to them as some kind of bonus. That's all it really is. All right. So that's number one. Okay. Number two is when you come to creating an irresistible offer, an offer that can't give me an offer you can't refuse. Okay. This offer is the second one is a couple things: social proof, comma, credibility, comma, confidence. Social proof, comma, credibility, and confidence. This is key. When you're giving an offer to somebody, especially in today's age where video is everything, right? And majority of the time, you're going to be presenting through video, even on stage and different things in person. Yes, you are too. But especially because the majority of the time is going to be on video, is a few different things that you got to have in play every time you create an offer. One is social proof. Social proof says, oh, I see all of these other people who are validating you. Basically, they're giving you the stamp of approval. And because of these other people give you the stamp of approval, I'm like, I already trust you. I rock with you. You feel what I'm saying? Like, so like here, and actually, let me write this. Let me add this too. So here, as part of this program, for example, right, there's been different things that I've recommended. There's been different people that have been guest speakers here, right? And because of that, y'all started rocking with them. Like, yo, listen, if Coach rocks with them, or if Coach say they good, or Coach gave them the green pass, or if Coach is working with them, then they good in my book. You feel what I'm saying? From, I've introduced y'all to like my ads guy, to like my videographer, to like my admin, you know what I mean? Like to, just different people who've came and been guests. Y'all following them now, and y'all rocking with them, and y'all liking their stuff, right? And the reason that that's happening is because I gave them the stamp of approval. You know what I mean? So y'all like, yo, I don't got to put all that thought and brain power, because I already know Coach is a good guy. I know Coach makes sound decisions, and he's not going to waste his time following or rocking with people, who ain't about their business. So now that's great, because that could take a lot of the thought processing that I have to think out of it. That's how people are thinking too when it comes to social proof. You feel what I'm saying? So your goal is, how could you get somebody else or other people to validate you, right? What is that really? It's the same thing. Like if you're looking at like new artists, any kind of new artists, hip hop artists, or any kind of artists that come in, right? A lot of times you have some of these artists that because other artists, known artists validates them or does a music video with them or talks about them, you like, oh, okay, cool. Like they must be real. You know what I mean? It's funny. I was watching, I saw this interview mad late, but, and I forgot who Drake did the interview with inside of his house. I can't remember. It wasn't Vlad, but he was doing one of those interviews inside of his house, right? It was like a 2-hour interview. And I remember one of the things that Drake said that I really found was interesting. He was like on one of his albums, I cannot remember what the album was, but he was like on one of his albums, he's like, the main thing I was focused on in that album, he said it might not have been the best thing at the time, but he was like, it really helped out a lot, was the fact that he had all of these big names. So it was basically his first album where he had all of these like big name artists on it, right? And he was doing like a lot of collaborations on this album. And he was like, that he said I was like focused on, like people were saying I should be doing with this person, I should be doing with this person, and that actually helped solidify him in a lot of things, right? To help them solidify you doing a song with Jay-Z, or you doing a song with J. Cole, or you doing a song with whoever, right? Nicki Minaj, whoever. Like now, that's helping validify you. So it's the same thing when it comes to social proof. We do this in our lives all the time. All the time. We go to a restaurant, you see 2 restaurants. If you don't have GPS and you can't look at the reviews, and I'm in a town that I don't know, and I see 2 restaurants. I see one restaurant that has 2 cars in front of it, and I see another restaurant to the right, on the right side of the street, that have 12 cars. You're likely going to choose the restaurant on the right that has the 12 cars, because you're like, oh, all these people here, it must be popping. Like, it must be something good at this restaurant, right? So so we do this all the time. So social proof is key. All right. Next, that's why Black Friday is so crazy, right? All right. Next, credibility. Credibility, it kind of leans off of the same kind of thing, but social proof is more multiple people, right? Credibility, it doesn't necessarily mean just one person, but you just show, how do you validify or show, it's basically like an endorsement, right? Like what makes you credible? Like what gives you that endorsement, right? So that can mean if you have any kind of certifications, that could mean if you had any kind of like people who are known or credible in your space say some things about you or have conversations with you. I've literally had people book calls with me because they seen me, have conversations with ET. I'm like, yo, I saw you and I rock with E, so like I booked a call with you. You know what I'm saying? And like literally it was like that.